So you're going to be doing a live meeting on this Saturday, right?
Correct.
Like what's somebody going to experience in this meeting?
So the meeting is going to be relatively short. It's going to be about an hour long so that I can get through a good amount of content. I'm just going to basically be going over my free checklist and everything that comes with it.
So this is more of a sales meeting than it is a webinar that I'm going to take away value from. Is that right?
Not necessarily. I think you can actually get a lot from this free checklist. A lot of stuff in it has to do with content that's going to help you to study on your own. So you don't necessarily need to work with me after coming to this meeting, but if you can make it to this meeting, it can increase your study habits by quite a bit. You can focus more on the specific word knowledge tactics that I use in my class. Of course, in my class, you're going to get a lot more in-depth knowledge, but through this, you can get a quick understanding and then you can actually run off and work on your own if you like.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool. So what is the checklist? Is it like a piece of paper? What is it?
So the checklist is actually perfectly formatted for your cell phone. So you can actually just scroll through and see all of the different content on arithmetic reasoning, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, general science, and probably like 7 or 8 other things. I do have a formula sheet in there, so you can check to see if you know your conversions from gallons to pints to quarts and all that sort of thing. You can also use it for general formulas like area of a circle, how to find the average, probability, percents to decimals to fractions. Conversions are huge on the ASVAB. So percents to decimals to fractions, even though it takes up a small part of the checklist, it's really, really important that you get that part like nailed down because that's going to be one of the main things they check.
What is the greatest from working with your checklist?
So the greatest 3 benefits from working with my checklist is 1, if you understand every formula on there, there's nothing that's going to really blindside you from the ASVAB. So you can look over those formulas and you'll find the gaps in your game right away. When you're looking through those formulas, that'll show you, okay, I'm missing this, or I don't understand that. And then you know exactly what to study. So that's one of my favorite things about my checklist. My other favorite thing is for word knowledge. On the word knowledge, it's actually worth twice as many points. And word knowledge is actually one of the things that surprises a lot of students on how negatively it impacts them. So it goes over how best to study for the word knowledge portion. And it's about accumulating more and more words into your word bank. So there's an example of about 5 words. It shows you how to start the word bank. And then you can just add a million words. You can add as many words as you want to your word bank. As long as you're studying those, your vocabulary is growing. And that's going to increase your ASVAB score at the end of the day. And even better than that, outside of the ASVAB, it makes you sound more intelligent, right? If you're using multiple words that not necessarily that people don't understand, but that make you more eloquent and more understood, things that like really drive home what you're trying to say. If you can use words that do that, you're a much more effective communicator. And that's why word knowledge is so valuable, because they want to see how good you are at communicating with different people.
Let me ask you this question. Have you always been very good at math?
I haven't always been very good at math. I did teach 6th grade for a couple of years, and so that helped me quite a bit. But when I was in 6th grade personally, I wasn't particularly good at math. I actually avoided math a lot of the time. I actually had some really good math teachers. I had a really good 5th and 6th grade math teacher. Both of them were very invested in the entire class, understanding their times tables and math facts. And that actually helps a lot. One of the things that surprises me the most when I help my students is once they see a couple of math facts, once they get decent at math facts, they're so much faster in all of the other processes that a math test could check.
So you seem to really love math. What do you love about math?
So what I love about math is that for me, it's like a true truth. A lot of things philosophically and scientifically, those things get changed. You know, you can alter someone's ideas about communism, socialism, and capitalism, and people have different ideas of what these things mean. But when it comes to something like 1 + 1, we can all agree that that is equal to 2. And so I think that's something that I always thought was really beautiful about math. A lot of people like to say music is the universal language, but it's not universal for people who can't hear. And math is universal for even people who can't see. Math is always true.
The ASVAB checklist. How long does it take for a person to complete the ASVAB checklist?
I'm going to recommend anybody who wants to use this as a study tool to use it over the course of 1 or 2 weeks. There's a lot of content in there, and you're going to want to break it down so that you understand every piece of it.
What about your live classes?
So my live classes are 5 hours per week. We cover English, math, and general science. I have tutors who assist me in that. So I have a science specialist, I have an English specialist, and a math specialist, and they all take on 1 full week. On top of that, what I do for any of my students is I make sure that if they want an extra hour here or there, that I can help them with it. So if I have a student who's really struggling with area of a circle or understanding the formula behind surface area, then they can reach out to me and I can meet with them one-on-one to make sure that we fill in those gaps that they don't understand. The general curriculum is going to follow those 4 main topics though: English, math, and science. Those 3 main topics: English, math, and science.
What do you do in the military? How are you in the military?
So I'm a 2nd lieutenant in the Nevada National Guard. I work at a water unit. So we do water purification and distribution here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
How old are you?
I am 32.
You just got in the military. How long have you been in the military?
I've been in the military for 2 years.
Knowing what you know today, would you have gotten into the military earlier?
Personally, I had other things I wanted to do when I was 18 and 22, which I would never trade. So personally, I did a lot of cool stuff with my life. However, looking back, if someone would have suggested the military a little bit more strongly, maybe in a way that I understood, I think I could have benefited a great deal. Truthfully, if I joined the military at 17, right now I would be 5 years from retirement. And I am very far from 5 years from retirement.
So is your wife around?
Yeah, she's
Do you
over.
love her?
I do.
Does your father love his daughter-in-law too?
I believe so, yeah.